Hi everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. We're here, obviously, again, Friday Night SmackDown review. I'll be honest, this video is probably going to be more focused on the whole Rock Cody situation because I think that's the biggest talking point coming out of last night's show. I will touch on, obviously, everything that happened because I think this episode of SmackDown was a little bit... It had highs and lows, shall we say. It kind of felt uneventful until The Rock appeared. Most of the matches, I think, were fine. Like, they weren't bad, but they weren't, gripping me in a way, of like, this is an absolute banger. Matches were fine. It was just a regular SmackDown up until The Rock came out and did his whole thing with Cody, which I didn't see coming. But without further ado, let's get into the video. And remember, if you do enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button. Let's go. So the show started with Drew McIntyre taking on Jimmy Uso. Obviously, Drew has had his issues with the bloodline for what feels like forever now. But last week, he got into it with Jimmy Uso backstage, which of course then led to this match this week. We also had a tag team match, the Miz and Carmelo Hayes taking on R-Truth and LA Knight. A pretty fun match. To be honest, the Miz and Carmelo Hayes, I don't hate as a tag team. I know people are going to have mixed opinions on it. One, because, I mean, Miz he's a veteran at this point, former WWE champion, WrestleMania main eventer. And then you've got a Carmelo who's kind of still trying to find his place on the main roster. But to be honest, I was kind of surprised by how well they actually worked as a team. Chuck in a bit of a random team like Miz and Carmelo into that SmackDown tag division. I personally wouldn't mind it. I honestly like the finish. They already have like a double team move. It's Carmelo goes for like the code breaker or whatever he calls it. And Miz kind of hit a skull crushing finale onto his knees. It was a cool finish. But yeah, Shinsuke did get involved in that match, but the ref didn't see it. But yeah, Miz and Carmelo getting the win. Then we had Tiffany Stratton taking on Candice LeRae. Only thing I'm saying about this is I am tired of Tiffany fighting the same people every week. To be honest, I'm sick of the women fighting the same people every single week on SmackDown. It's getting repetitive, and especially now, there's a whole movement now on social media of women deserve better. I agree, we need something in the women's division, and I know people will say, oh, well, Charlotte has just come back. Yeah, but she's not wrestling every week, She hasn't actually wrestled on SmackDown since coming back. She hasn't wrestled since the Rumble, so I don't know if she will. I imagine she will. I can't imagine she's not going to now wrestle until Mania, but I do think the women's division, especially on SmackDown, needs a bit of reviving. Now, this one's a little bit controversial because it was Liv taking on Naomi. We did end up getting that. Obviously, we know that The Rock was on the show, so we know that Rock likes to go over. He kind of just doesn't care about anybody else at times. So I just think WWE took a precaution because there were rumors, after Rock had announced that he was going to be at SmackDown, there were rumors that this match got cancelled. Then as the show started, they were still advertising it. But I think just to be safe and cut some time, because we know that The Rock will just go over. So I think they just had this segment as quick as possible, which is why Liv and Raquel ended up just attacking the tag champs. But yeah, like I said, the matches were fine. Obviously, the main event as well. Oh, and DIY pretty deadly for the tag titles. Kind of felt sorry for these two matches because, I mean, the Rock promo and segment was just before this, and it left everyone kind of with more questions than answers, which it also is The Rock. Like, how are you meant to then just refocus? Like, having Pretty Deadly and DIY have a tag champ match, or have a match for the tag team championships after The Rock has just been on the show is so unfair to them because now they've been completely overshadowed. Now, admittedly, the match wasn't all that. I'll be honest, wasn't really paying too much attention, and the Street Profits got involved anyway and attacked and caused a DQ, so it was a bit throwaway. I think we're just advancing the tag division a little bit in the storyline. And then also Damian Priest and Braun taking on Jacob and Solo. Again, overshadowed by The Rock. It was originally meant to be a 6-man, and then obviously Rock shocked the entire world and said, I'm going to be at SmackDown, so that didn't end up happening. But again, match was fine, as all of them were. But yeah, the rest of the card was fine. Some backstage segments. Yeah, it felt like a normal SmackDown that just happened to have The Rock on it. So The Rock comes out. Obviously, we didn't know what to expect. And by the way, the first thing I want to say is, anybody that is saying that this was planned, in the sense of, oh, since Bad Blood, you know, he's had a plan, he's always been 10 steps ahead. None of this has been intended. All these people saying that, oh, WWE have had this planned out for months. No, they haven't. And I'm sorry, but how, as a wrestling fan that is all about story, can you sit here and tell me that this is intended? Because it's all a mess. Nothing makes sense. As wrestling fans, I don't understand how anyone can sit there after seeing what, like, Bloodline story, for example. It's a natural progression. We've seen it unfold, right? We haven't seen anything unfold with The Rock and Cody, really. You know, coming out of WrestleMania 40, not a whole lot. It's just been the odd Rock appearance, and every time he comes back, he just waffles. He did the same last night. But yeah, he comes out, he announces WrestleMania 42, which is kind of what we kind of expected, even though we didn't really know what to expect. But then he brings out Cody, and he goes all around the houses in what he was trying to get across. But we get there eventually. He basically is asking Cody, or not asking him, I feel like he's more telling him, like, you know, be my guy, be my champion. He was basically saying how, like, he can make all of his family's dreams come true, you know, for his kids kind of thing. And then the line that has probably caused the most controversy, but I actually quite like, The Rock says to Cody, because Cody thinks that he wants the championship belt, Rock then says, no, I don't want the championship. I want your soul. Which, I can't believe there's actually been as much backlash as there has been to that line, or at least people not liking it that much, because I actually think, like, I mean, look, that is what he's asking him to do. He's asking Cody to sell his soul. He's asking him to go against everything he believes in as a character and as a person, you know, from wanting to be that next John Cena, you know, the ultimate babyface, to now corporate sellout who is, you know, doing the bidding of the final boss kind of thing. Yeah, he basically waffles for a bit. Cody kind of just stands there looking confused. And remember, none of this was planned, in the sense of, we literally found out Rock was going to be on the show 24 hours or so before SmackDown, right? It came out of nowhere. I think for me it was like 3 a.m. that the news came out, and I actually thought it was fake at first. Like, this is what I mean with everybody saying, like, you know, oh, this is connected and this is connected, and WWE have had this plan forever. They haven't, because again, they've not thought any of this through, because they've made plans based on The Rock not being there, which was rumoured for months. That was Cody and Cena was going to be the match. We were going to get, like, Damian versus, was it Drew or LA Knight, something like that. We were going to get a triple threat, Roman, Seth, Punk. You know, now Rock's come back. He's literally picked up the phone to Triple H and gone, oh, by the way, I'm coming to SmackDown tomorrow, so figure it out. People think that this is going to ultimately lead to a match between Cody and Rock. But I don't know if it's going to be this Mania, because, again, there's things here with The Rock coming back so unexpected and just so last minute. What happens to the Chamber match? If this match happens, if Cody and Rock happens at WrestleMania, you know, you could do it night one, main event, but then, again, you're going to have people like CM Punk that aren't going to be able to main event, and then they're going to be annoyed at The Rock, and all of this stuff. So, I don't know, because right now they're still going with, you know, the winner of the Men's Chamber will face Cody at WrestleMania. They're still going with that. At Elimination Chamber, Cody is going to give The Rock his answer. I fully expect Cody to turn down The Rock's offer. I think Cody will stay true to himself. However, I'm not opposed to the idea of a heel Cody, but for me, I don't think it's a smart business move for WWE. Realistically, right, we've got loads of baby faces, right? We don't really have too many heels around the main event scene, right? We've got Drew McIntyre. I mean, Rock, technically, if he's gonna wrestle. Other than that, I think we're struggling for heels at the main event level. I mean, you can put Logan Paul there because he's getting main event matches, but Nobody wants Logan to win because he's Logan Paul. You know, to have Cody Rhodes turn heel would be interesting. We know he can do it. You know, he did it on the Indies when he was part of Bullet Club and all of that. But the issue is, he's the top merch seller. The kids love him. Again, he wants to be that next John Cena, right? He wants to be the ultimate babyface, ultimate company guy. Which, you could technically put a spin on it and say, well, if he accepts The Rock's offer, then he would be a business guy. You know, he's putting the business first. But Cody's very much put the fans first, you know? So I don't know. I do fully expect Cody to turn down that offer, just because, again, I don't think it's a good idea to turn him heel right now. Because then the kids are going to leave, in the sense of they're not going to be interested in Cody anymore, because he's a bad guy. He's not doing good guy things, you know? Which I know is what you want, but then again, it's the merch seller aspect of it. Like, Cody shifts a lot of merch, you know? Kids are dressing up in his robes and whatnot, and I just don't think WWE are going to want to sacrifice that. Especially considering, again, Rock come in completely last minute. But overall, the segment, for me, it hit, right? But the one thing I'll say is, I do hate how it seems like ever since The Rock got onto the board of directors, he has just been inserting himself any way he can, right? He's showing up, again, 24 hours before SmackDown. He basically tells Triple H, like, oh, I'm going to be on SmackDown, figure it out. And just all of it, it doesn't flow. It's all very hit and miss. Obviously, I completely respect the fact that he's busy, right? He can't really commit right now, even though I think he could find time if he really wanted to, but evidently he doesn't. You know, he did for WrestleMania 40, but obviously I think he'd already committed to the time when he thought it was going to be Rock Roman, and then obviously the whole We Want Cody thing happened. But yeah, so for me, overall, the actual segment did hit. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it was captivating, man. Like, I was sat there wondering what the hell's happening. And there was a million and one ways this could have gone. This was not one of them that I saw happening. It's not even one that I thought about happening. We've told this story before, but just the way this is done, it does feel different. You know, with Rock coming out and basically saying, like, I can make all of your wildest dreams come true. Like, basically, I think it would be something like, if you want to be in a movie, I got you. You know, I'll give you a role. You know, if your child wants something, I got you. If your wife wants something, I got you. Like, I do like it. I like the direction we're going, and I just hope that we can get some consistency. Rock is going to be at Elimination Chamber. That is hopefully not going to change. It's only a week, all right? It's basically only a week until Elimination Chamber. So hopefully nothing changes where Rock all of a sudden can't do it, right? But yeah, that's my big criticism, is that since The Rock has been on the board, he has just... It seems as if he's forgot what wrestling's about, in the sense of it now feels like he's a bit of an outsider. And which I know is mental to say because it's Dwayne The Rock Johnson, right? But he's on the board, and now it seems like he thinks that he can just throw his weight around. I mean, he's coming out on TV. Remember, this was on USA. This wasn't Netflix, all right? He came out and he's dropping F-bombs and swearing, you know, like... And look, I know for us adults, it's not that big of a deal. But again, there's kids in attendance. You know, you've also got the people at USA, the network, right, that aren't going to be thrilled with it, you know, because at the end of the day, it's meant to be a family-friendly show, and then The Rock's coming out and swearing left, right, and centre, right? He did the same thing at NXT. Like, on Netflix, I think there's a bit more leniency. I mean, Netflix apparently is still kind of very much like, don't take the mick, but, you know, we'll let a couple of them slide, kind of thing. But yeah, I just don't like how he's just popping up every now and again, throwing his weight around, you know? I don't think he's a character anymore, is my concern. And him just coming out and saying a whole bunch of nothing, you know, that just happens to blurt out something that people latch onto and go, oh, this was intended and it connects to this, this, and this, you know? He's fooling everyone, right? But again, last night's segment, did like it. I think I'm going to wrap it up here just because I feel like I've waffled. I don't know if any of what I just said makes any sense, but I hope it does. I was at like 9 minutes when I finished the rest of the card breakdown. We're now at 23 minutes I've been recording. But either way, I hope you stuck with me through that. I honestly, there's so much I could honestly sit here for an hour and talk about this situation, but I won't bore you to death. Overall, this show was a little bit, yeah, besides the Rock stuff. Other than that, it was just an average SmackDown. As far as scores go, I'll probably go with 7, but I think that's only because of the Rock and Cody segment. Other than that, nothing too much to get excited about, to be honest. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and I'll see you in the next one.